I can get this blower running? Yeah, with that Milwaukee blower, even using a 6.0 battery, it just doesn't last very long. So a couple weeks ago, I stopped off at this garage sale and saw this blower sitting out there in the grass with all the other junk, junk you have at yard sales. Well, it didn't have a price on it, so I asked the lady, I'm like going, how much for the blower? And she said, make me an offer on it. Well, I hate making people an offer because I feel like I'm always going to insult them. So I just kind of kept looking around at it, and she made me an offer. And I'm like, I can't turn that down. So I picked it up and gave her the money and threw it in my truck. But after looking at it more, getting it home, I'm like, I don't know. Look how dirty this thing is. I mean, I don't know when the last time it's been started. But it sure is dirty. Let's see if we can't get it running. Well, the first thing I always do is I check to make sure it has spark. So let me get my spark tester. Should be here in the precision tool drawer. There it is. Okay, let's get this boot off here. Then we'll put this boot on here. Then we'll hook this into here. And then let's see if we can't get some spark out of here. Get my hand wrapped around here. Okay, let's give it a try. I can't see anything. Let me turn out the lights. Okay. There we go. Well, I saw some spark in there. Did you? But now we got to see if there's any gas in here, which I highly doubt. It looks like this has been sitting for a while. Nope, there's no gas in there. And the hose is dry rotted out of there. I don't know if you can see down in there, but right there the hose has come off and it's kind of rotted, which really kind of surprises me because this bulb here is not cracked or anything. Well, I know I'm not going to get it to start with bad hoses on it. So let's get this off here so it makes it a lot easier to work with, and I guess we'll have to start tearing into it. Well, let's look at the air filter. I wonder how bad it is. Well, not too bad, I guess. Well, carburetor looks like it kind of works, but we have to get this off here first. Let's see here. Pull that screw out. Pull that one out. Well, that's kind of crusty. Now I need to unhook it from here, and the old hoses just come out. I mean, I can pinch them off with my thumbnail, so we know those aren't good. And there's one down there. Well, it looks like there's some feather remnants and a rock in there. Well, there was some feathers inside of that there and around the carb. So maybe they stored this thing in a chicken house. I don't know. But it is dirty. That's like some oily grease. Probably from all the 2-cycle gas mixture that's been poured over it. So let's dig into this more. And yeah, I know this has been like the elephant in the room, I guess. I am going to figure out how to fix the pull start on it. But first of all, we just need to get some cleaning done. So, take these out. And that'll let me get the gas tank out and this filter right here. I do have a parts cleaner. I'm going to go put all these in, but what's rattling around in there? Oh yeah, look at that. Filter and pieces of hose. But as you can see, I guess, it is pretty dirty down inside there. So let me get all this in the cleaner, then we'll get back to this thing. Well, now I got the parts in the parts washer, getting clean and let them soak. Let's break into this carburetor here and see what kind of trouble we can get into. Get these off here. This bulb is still good. I'm going to put this in the ultrasonic cleaner for a little while and let it get all cleaned up. Going to use a little purple power here. Fill it up. Dump these dirty parts into there. I can clean that one by hand. Those two. And we'll stick the carburetor in there. And let's just top it off. I always make a mess. So what I like to do is get a bottle that all my parts can fit in, and I fill it up with my cleaner, put a plastic bag on it so it doesn't leak, and then I take this and I put it in my ultrasonic cleaner. And we want to do a temp, let's do 80-degree temperature. If you haven't seen my ultrasonic cleaner video, there's a link to it somewhere up here. It'll kind of show you why I use my ultrasonic cleaner this way. So while I was unknowingly destroying my carburetor, I went ahead and thought I would just get the rest of this blower cleaned up. I think the parts all came out looking pretty good. Yeah, there's little dirt and stuff in some of the crevices. But I mean, it does look a lot better. That there was just caked. We got all that, and then we went ahead and got all this here cleaned up. I mean, it all looks pretty good. So now all we need to do is get it put back together. So, how did I destroy my carburetor? Well, aluminum and purple power don't go together. Aluminum and simple green don't go together. Aluminum and a lot of cleaners out there
don't go together.
I'm sure there were some of you out there watching this just screaming at your screen going, you can't do that. Or you were just thinking, wow, what a dumb. Well, now I know. Here's what happened. I mean, look at this right here. That's destroyed. That screw won't even turn. I mean, that's all messed up. And here's the main body of the carburetor. It's just ruined. Take this little needle valve. It's supposed to go in here. It doesn't hardly slide. It rubs real bad. I mean, I totally destroyed this thing. I mean, the choke still works and everything, but the throttle sticks in places when it should be like that when it's kind of closed. No, I destroyed it. There's a label over here that has kind of like the model number, serial number, UPC code or whatever. You know, you can take a picture of that and upload it to ChatGPT, and it'll just pretty much tell you everything you need to know. So I got the number of the carburetor, and I'm going to go on Amazon here, then search for that number, get it all in there, scan down. Hey, there's one here for $17.59. I'm going to go ahead and order it. Actually, it should be here in a little while. I did get the pull rope fixed, see? Well, it's kind of hard to pull it on there. Hey, I got good compression. Well, no, there we go. I got it fixed. Now, also, you want to take the muffler off, because I don't know if you can see in there, there's a little screen right in there, and sometimes those screens get built up with carbon on them, and it won't let the, it really inhibits the exhaust from coming out. On the newer blowers, and probably the better brand blowers, there's usually screws right here you can pull out, and you get to that screen right there. Then you can take that screen out, and you can just get yourself a torch or something and just run the flame over it, and you can burn all that carbon out. Then put it back in, put it together, and you're good to go. But since this blower is an older model, I don't get that option. Let's get this blower back together. I think the only hard part I'm going to have is getting all this wiring and switch and the trigger and everything all all put together. I'm going to go ahead and put a couple screws in here to help hold this thing together so it doesn't want to come off. buy a suit, I could probably put them all in if I wanted to, but we'll just put these in because the handle is going to hide those right there. Now it'll also sit up. I got to get this wiring and everything, and it hooks on this little lever right there. That's where the trigger goes. But then I got to get that switch in too. Well, I know this handle goes in here, and then somehow the switch comes up. This eyelet right here goes on there, then the trigger goes on there, then the trigger goes over that. So that's going to go there. Let's bring this over here. Let's get that on there. Got this here. Let's get the trigger on there. Oh man, this is not fun. Figure out where this, hey, look at that. Kind of got it. Okay, let's get the wiring out of there so we're not crushing it. Okay, the trigger works. You can see it moving. Then we got the cruise control over here that pulls the trigger up. So we're good. We got all this together. Now I'm hoping this switch, let me go ahead and put the screws back in here. Now, let's see if the switch won't press down in there. Oh, the switch is in there. Well, I got it pretty much put back together. I got the muffler on. I got this little adapter here for the carburetor on. I guess a spacer. I didn't put the gas tank back on because I still got to run some tubes in there, but I pretty much got it back on. This here works. I just hope this linkage is right. For some reason that just feels odd in there, but we'll see once I get it mounted. So now all we need is a carburetor. So we're all set to go until I get a carburetor in here. Who's there? Amazon delivery. Oh, come on in. Where do you want me to put this at? Ah, just set it right there. Really is true. Amazon does just throw their packages around. Let's see what we got here. Got an adjustment screw. Hopefully we don't need that. Hey, I got some hoses. Got an air filter. Ooh, got two air filters. Does it match the old one? Look at that. Perfect match. Hey, a new spark plug. I probably should go ahead. LD L7T. Hey, they gave me an extra bulb. Oh wow, they gave me two extra bulbs and a fuel filter. All right, that works pretty good there. Let's see, does the choke work? We turn the choke on. Oh yeah, we give it gas. See, they got a hole right there. And it looks like, yeah, their gasket does have that hole in there. I'll probably just use their gasket instead of this big old thing. Well, okay, let's get this all put together and see if this thing will start. Now we got to figure out which one of these that the fuel filter goes on. And the way you do that is which one of these things suck. So we can go, that one there blows air, so this one here sucks. So is this going to be a pain in the butt? Nope. I can get that on really good. There we go. So we need to put it into this hole on here. I'll give you a little tip on this. There's a tip on getting these tubes in there because that hole's kind of small. Just kind of cut you a slant on there. Then you can poke it in there. There we go. Get in there. Oh yeah. Pull you out enough there. Cut it off straight. Take your fuel filter. Get it jammed on there. I'm probably going to go ahead and pull a little more just to be safe. Because you want your fuel filter to lay down in the bottom of the tank like that right there. Kind of measure out about what you need here. That there should be enough to go to the carburetor. Okay, again, need to cut you a good angle on your hose. This one here is your vent. It doesn't need to go very far in there. Okay, let's put the gas tank back on. It kind of goes in there like that. Let me get one of these gaskets out here. We get that gasket aligned on there. As you can see, it lines up with all the holes. This is the part that I've really been weary of. That goes down there. That throttle linkage is not gonna work. Okay, I got it figured out. I just had this on backwards. Got it all fixed on there, like the way it should be. And I also forgot this black plastic piece here has to go on before the screws go in. So now, hook the linkage into there. Let's see. There we go. Now the throttle works good. Let's cut these hoses and try to get them on. That goes on the vent. Well, let me cut this back one first. Probably cut it about right here. Get it up on there. Then let's put the vent on here. And since I got a new spark plug, let's just go ahead and put a new one on. Okay, we'll take this here out. I haven't even looked at this one. I guess it looks okay. But we'll put this new one in here. Put that on there. Now all that's left is put some gas in here. Let's see if it'll even start, or try to start. Okay, this takes a 40-to-1 mix. And I actually happen to have 40-to-1 mix. Okay, let's get this gas cap back on. Okay, it says here, set cruise control to idle, which would be right there. Prime it 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I do see some gas in there. Then it says set to start. Well, I'm gonna have to look here. Okay, start is right there. And then pull rope 5 times. If above 90, pull rope 3 times. It's 88 in the shop. Well, let's give it a try. Is she gonna start? Let me just give a little pull there. Okay, let's try it. Let's press the bulb a little bit more, maybe get more gas in there. Now let's go. It started. See again if we can get it to start and run. Well, it dies when I take it off choke. So we're going to have to do some adjusting to the carburetor. First of all, on usually most 2-cycle carburetors, there's 3 adjustment screws. You got this one right here, and that's your idle for your throttle. And then you have these other 2 screws. You have a low and a high. So I'm going to take this one here and I'm going to turn it in probably about 1/4 of a turn. Let's see if it'll idle. Well, it does idle now, but when I give it throttle, you heard it, it bogs down. So we need to go back to the carburetor. Sometimes on this 2-cycle equipment, there'll be an L and an H maybe stamped on the housing or something, or sometimes it's even on the carburetor to let you know which screw's the low and which one's the high. This one doesn't have either. So the way you figure that out is your low screw right here is the one that's closest to the motor, closest to the cylinder. And then your high screw is the one that's the furthest from the cylinder or closest to your air filter. Well, since this is starving for fuel, when I give it throttle, I'm going to take this high screw and I'm going to turn it out maybe 1/8 or 1/4 of a turn. You don't want to get overzealous and just crank this thing open, 2 or 3 times. These things are finicky. 1/8 or 1/4 of a turn is all you need. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this out 1/4 of a turn here. And let's see if that helps. Get a good pull here. Sounds good, doesn't it? Now let's get the housing and the air filter. Oh, that's kind of hot. Get the housing and the air filter back on here, and this thing will all be buttoned up and ready to go. So how much did I pay for this fine piece of machinery right here? I paid $5. What's funny was, if I was going to have to make the lady an offer, I would have offered her $5. So all in all, I got $20 and change in this thing. And if I wouldn't have destroyed my first carburetor, I would have only had 5 in it. So, you know, $15 and $5, that's cheap for a blower. And this one here works. For this like adjustment tool, this one came with the carburetor, but I have a whole set of these because I got Craftsman and Steel and another Poulan chainsaw over there. I gotta have different adjusting tools for the carburetors on those. I'll leave a link to them. They're not very much. I mean, the last time I bought them, I can't imagine they've gone up a whole bunch, but this here's the price here. I'll leave a link to those. And I'll leave a link to the carburetor that I bought for just in case you have this model and serial number Poulan Pro blower. And I'll leave a link to the store too, so if your carburetor's not like this one or it's on something else, you can look in their store. I'm sure you can find a carburetor for whatever you need because they got a bunch of them. Well, everyone, thanks for watching. I hope I could maybe have helped someone out there. You know, if you need to, ask me a question. I'll see if I can't answer it for you. If you like this kind of old guy video stuff, be sure to give me a like. Hit that subscribe and notification. And comment. I love comments. And I try to answer them all. And until next time, it's 99 degrees in here. I just don't have the energy to yell it. So, see ya.